Okay, so hopefully by today you have a pretty good understanding of photosynthesis. And what we're going to look at right now is cellular respiration. Cellular respiration is actually can be thought of as the opposite of photosynthesis. It occurs in a different place in the cell. The place where it occurs is the mitochondria, not the chloroplast. And it happens in all living things. All living things do cellular respiration, whereas with photosynthesis, it was just plants. So, why do living things do cellular respiration? They do it to release the energy stored in food. So remember, photosynthesis had an energy change from kinetic energy in the sun to potential energy in glucose molecules. Cellular respiration is taking the energy stored in the food, the potential energy stored in food, and releasing it in a form of kinetic energy. Now, this kinetic energy cannot be used directly by living things. So there's one more step that has to occur before it's actually can be used by living things. So there's one more energy conversion from kinetic to potential and then back to kinetic. And we'll talk about that in a moment. Okay? So cellular respiration occurs in the mitochondria, and instead of storing energy in food like photosynthesis does, it actually, purpose of it is to release energy from food. And just like photosynthesis had reactants and products, so does cellular respiration. And they are the opposite of photosynthesis. So the reactants are glucose and oxygen, and the products are carbon dioxide, water, and kinetic energy. So the chemical formula is glucose, C6H12O6, plus 6 O2, or 6 oxygen molecules, equals 6 CO2, 6 carbon dioxides, plus 6 H2O, 6 waters, plus kinetic energy. And again, that kinetic energy is going to be used to make one more molecule called ATP, which you heard about in the brain pop. And that acts like a little battery for the cell. Now, in this fourth slot, it doesn't say what type of reaction this is. It doesn't say that like it did on this photosynthesis star. Instead, it says there's two different types. Well, just so you know, the type of reaction it is the opposite of photosynthesis. So we said photosynthesis was a building reaction. Well, this one's breaking down glucose. Glucose is not being built in this one. Glucose is the reactant in this one, and is being broken apart into carbon dioxide and water. But the two different types, as they mentioned again in the brain pop, are aerobic and anaerobic. Aerobic, just like aerobic exercise, means with oxygen present, and anaerobic means without oxygen present. And it's also called fermentation. Sorry, I had to squish it in there. Hopefully you can read that okay. So anaerobic is also called fermentation. And there's no oxygen available for that process. So those are the two types of cellular respiration. Now you might be thinking, oh, this is hard. You know, we got to memorize photosynthesis. Now we got to memorize cellular respiration. But really, if you've already got photosynthesis down, this is the opposite of photosynthesis. The reactants of cellular respiration were the products of photosynthesis and vice versa. So all you have to do is flip-flop the reactants and the products, and you've got it. So if you've already learned photosynthesis, like you should have this week, then you already know cellular respiration because you just have to switch out the reactants and the products. Okay, well, good luck, and hopefully I will see you soon.